What up, young people? What up, old people? It's the boy Jimmy Smooth, and we in the building. I got my man Johnny Hellum Jr. in here. He just Hellum now. My bad.
What's going on, everybody?
Alright. Then we got a special guest in here today. We got my man Harrison in here. He is going to talk to us today about, the road to financial freedom. So, I'm going to let him introduce himself here a little bit and, let him tell you, what it is that he do. So.
Yeah, hey everybody, how y'all doing, man? I appreciate you guys for having this platform. As he mentioned, man, my name is Harrison Gilmer. I don't attest to be a financial guru, but I am financially free. Born and raised here in Cleveland, and I utilized basketball to get a college education. And when I got out, man, I just made sure that I built the right connections and met the right people and got in the right circles to get information. That's what it's all about, man. Information is what'll put money in your pocket, but it'll also take money out your pocket if you're uninformed.
Absolutely. So, you work with a service, a company.
Yeah.
And you guys are called the Financial Education Services. Is that what it is?
Correct.
Okay, so elaborate on that a little more. How does that really work? I mean,
Okay.
What's the basis of it?
So, obviously credit is a billion-dollar industry, and obviously there's not too many places you can go to be educated on credit. I mean, again, I got a master's degree in business, but I never took a class in credit. Most people haven't, right?
Okay.
And when you think about it, 68 million people have a less than 600 credit score. Now, if I said 68 million people had AIDS, there would be an epidemic.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
But when I say 68 million people have a less than 600 credit score, people keep it moving like that's nothing. Not knowing that they're going to get ran through in the banks from interest rates. That getting the insurance is also taken into account of that. So where financial education services comes in is it's just that. It's a platform for you to be able to get into a program that will not just restore your credit, but educate you on it as well, on how to keep it, so that you never go into a situation again. But it also provides you with the tools you need to manage your personal affairs, like a living will, so that you don't got to do GoFundMes and chicken dinners when your people pass away.
That's
Power
a big
of
one.
attorney, yeah, man.
Because that has become so common. You know what I mean? When your people die suddenly, you gotta have fish fries.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. Yeah.
The even bigger point to what you're saying, my man, is that when the last time, and maybe I can't get away with this, but white people ain't doing that. They're not selling chicken dinners to bury their family, man.
Right, they learn about credit a lot sooner than everybody else, though. They're from a young age. That's super important, and they work to build the credit of their kids when they're born. So yeah.
Well, we was always taught cash money.
Yeah,
And then
cash
the
is
older
king.
I got, the more I learned cash money means nothing.
Nah, man. I mean, cash is, cash is a good thing to have.
Right.
But credit is power.
Right.
And I tell people that all of the time. At the end of the day, even some of the richest moguls that we might follow. I mean, Jay-Z just dropped 444.
Yeah.
And the man took the time out to address credit.
And that's a good point too, because do you feel like our people are getting more familiar with this since he dropped this album? Do you feel like you've had more people come to you, more black people come to you and say, hey, I want to know more about what it is that you're doing since that album has dropped? No? Okay.
No, I think with our people, man, credit is taboo, right?
Okay.
It's like we don't want to talk about having a bad 3-digit score. We
Right.
would rather be a public success and a private mess than to let you know that we need help. And one of the reasons why I'm at where I'm at, man, I ain't never cared much about that.
Okay.
I had nothing. So there's no reason. I'll tell you right here, less than a year ago, my credit score was a 534, and I had a 6-figure salary. Go figure that. So even though I had 99 problems, money wasn't one, I still had bad credit.
Wow.
Right?
So within a year, that whole thing turned around for you?
Yeah, man, I went from a 534 to a 669 in about 40 days.
Okay.
Getting in this program and just being coachable.
Okay.
Following the directions of what they told me to do. I did it and I got the results, right?
And this could happen for anyone. This is not just you. This could happen for anyone that basically, I guess, applies themselves to this. Now, what is the basics? You know what I mean of becoming involved in this? I mean, what do people start if they want to be a part of this?
So ultimately, again, I don't repair the credit myself,
Okay.
nor would I want to. We leverage a company, which is Financial Education Services, to do all of that. This company is comprised of credit attorneys and credit agents that actually do the work. And basically what they do, man, is they leverage something called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It was put into play by Congress in 1970 that simply states, in simple jargon, it don't matter what's on your credit. You have the right to dispute it, and you have the right to dispute it based on this law, to not say whether it's yours or not, but to say, hey, listen, yeah, it's mine, but did you guys follow the law to a letter in terms of putting it on my profile? And if they didn't, they got to remove it, period. So you can go out, have a repo, go through this program, and if they didn't report that repo to the letter, or they didn't follow the law according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, it's got to come off. And the same law that allows it to be removed prohibits them from putting it back. So I can tell you this, I had 2 student loans removed, and everybody and their mother believe that's impossible. I've got clients right now that has bankruptcies, student loans, child support. Anything that can go on your credit profile by law can be removed. But again, uninformed people make uninformed decisions, and what you don't know is costing you bread.
Because they want you to think in order to turn things around for you, you have to file bankrupt. And filing bankrupt puts you back for what, like 10 years?
Yeah, well, even more than that. Filing bankruptcy it should be like the last option. I tell people all the time, the only reason why I would file bankruptcy is if I had a house and they was going to take my house.
Okay.
Otherwise, what's the point? If you got stuff that you're going to file bankruptcy on, when you file it and they discharge it, all of that stuff is still on your credit. So who's going to give you some money when they can look at your report and go, well, you never paid them people and you ran away from the responsibility? I always tell people, put yourself in the mind of the lender. Your cousin Pookie come to you and borrow $1,000 with the intent to pay you back in 30 days, and he doesn't. You're not going to loan him money again.
Right.
Well, with a name like Pookie, you probably should know you're not going to get that back. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's Pookie. You know what I'm saying? We all know who Pookie is.
Yeah.
But so good point. My thing is I'm the type of person, like, I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm paranoid, but I'm kind of skeptical about things. I'm skeptical about people. You know what I mean? That's just who I am. How can people know that this is a service that they can trust in? And and I'm sure I'm not the only person out there that's like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To make sure that they're not, they're not being scammed. They're not, being taken advantage of. How do people know that financial, educational services is?
Great question. So, first of all, they're being scammed whether they believe me or not. Because when you go to a buy here, pay here, you buy 2009 for the price of a 2016, that's a scam to me.
Right.
But we do it every day because we press for a car, right?
Right.
When you go to a buy here, payday loan place, and they charge you all of this money on top of the dollar for you to borrow it, that's a scam to me. But here's the simple and plain. FES, or Financial Education Services, has been in business over 14 years. They're based out of Farmington Hills, Michigan. They have the highest accreditation you can have with the Better Business Bureau, which is an A+. Now, an accreditation can't be bought like most ratings with the Better Business Bureau. It has to be given by the Better Business Bureau. In addition to that, again, documentation beats conversation. So you can go on Facebook, type in FES, and you will find thousands of people that have used this service and have documented proof to show you that it works. Other than that, man, you can go to our websites. Actually, you can go to my business partner, Paul Miller. You can go to his website at www.myfes.net/Paul Miller, and you can actually look through the services and do your diligence yourself, man. I tell people all the time, listen, this ain't about you using financial education services. This is about you getting your credit in order so that people can stop hitting you up top the head and taking your money just because you don't want to address that ailment. And let me say this too, man, about the skepticism. Black people, I'm all for us. And they did a great job on us, man. But do you ever notice why we don't go to the hospital?
Because we don't have the insurance?
Nah.
we
Because we don't want to know the truth.
Yeah, we don't want to know what's wrong with us.
That's deep.
Well,
That's
the
true.
reason why
Yeah,
people
it is.
and the reason why people want to run me through the ringer about whether the service is real or not is because they really don't want to address the
bigger
issue at
issue.
hand. Listen, whether you go to me or not, there are hundreds of other places out here that can repair your credit. Why you didn't go to those? So if you're skeptical about me, then you must be skeptical about the whole industry. And guess what? Whether you understand the credit game or not, you playing it. Period.
Yeah, you in it.
Yeah, I feel you on that. So basically, you said that you feel like it's about people not wanting to deal with reality, basically, like everything ain't as good as you make it seem sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's mentality, bro.
Yeah, because I know my score is not A1, but I'm at a place where I'm not necessarily balling, but I'm not struggling. But
Right.
until I really get that score A1, there's still a lot of things that I can't do out
Of course.
You know what I mean? I'm limited. I'm limited to what I can do. Shout out to Paul Miller. You know what I mean? Harrison had brought his name into the conversation. Paul is somebody I've known for over 100 years. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We go way back. But he came to me with this and was like, "Yo, man, you should check it out." And one thing about him, when he gets into something, he's very passionate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he puts us all into it. So like I'm kind of like blowing it off at first. Like okay. Then like I started seeing what he was on, like the things he was talking about. His conversation was changing a little bit.
Right.
And it was making sense. So,
Yeah.
definitely, man. I definitely want to know more about this.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You said it changed people. It changed your whole situation within a whole year.
Yeah, I mean, you got to really think about it, man. Again, I graduated with a master's in business, and when I bought my house, the first thing that they asked me when I wanted to qualify for the house was, "What's your credit?" So when you think about the American dream as we know it, anything that you can have or you want to obtain, they can utilize credit as a barrier. I got a friend who's actually a professor at one of the universities here. He's an African-American guy. He's the only black arborist in the state of Ohio. You wouldn't even know. This is a black guy. He's the head of all the metro parks. And he was actually interviewed for a job with a university. 6-figure paying job. He got the job. Then they rescinded the offer based on credit.
Really?
So think about that.
I've heard about that before. I've heard in order to get a job at a bank,
Yeah,
you
that
gotta be
lessens
decent.
you're apt to steal. You know what I mean? Somebody come to you, like in the military, to get a top secret clearance, they check your credit.
Yeah, and your
Because,
family background.
and everything. Because, let's say I owe $100,000 to here and there. If somebody come to me with $200,000, am I gonna sell secrets? You know what I mean? You gotta. That's important.
Yeah.
You got questions like that. You gotta ask.
But-
Go
Go ahead.
I noticed you said 6 figures twice, two
Yeah.
different people. I feel like that had to factor into you cleaning it up in 40 days. You said you turn around in 40 days.
Yeah.
That has to factor in the salary. Now, like he said, I'm not struggling, but I ain't doing well. You know,
Right.
I'm riding the line pretty finely.
Yeah.
So coming from that perspective, let me ask the bottom line question: what is this costing me?
Great question. So my salary played no part in my results.
Oh, okay.
Don't matter whether you got a 0 credit score to a 600 credit score, the services cost the same. So here's what you actually get with this program. You're going to get credit restoration, which they're going to put together all your letters, send them out to you on a 60-day cycle. You're going to get credit builder, which will educate you on how to build your score while you're going through the restoration. You're going to have credit attorneys on retainer at no cost that will provide you counsel on any credit or debt related issues. You're going to get identity theft protection, because what good is building your score only to let people steal it and go run it back down. You're going to get a living will, because you're going to die one day. You might want to be a blessing instead of a burden. You're going to get a medical and financial power of attorney, so that if by any reason you're incapacitated, you can put somebody in charge of making your decisions. You're going to get a living trust. Why? So that you can protect your assets, so that when you die, instead of your stuff going to probate and your family trying to get stuff out of probate that you already bought, it can just go right to them based on your will. So living trust. We're talking about game right now. We're talking about wealth versus, again, being a public success and a private mess. You're going to get $100,000 life insurance policy. That's a term policy that if you're in the program for up to a year, it fully maxes out at $100,000. And then you're going to get a full team of support that will give you direction and coaching on what to do, how to do, when to do it. So I don't know what the math is, but I think I might have just ran off close to 12 services. Those services are $89 a month. No contract.
For all 12 services, $89 a month?
$89 a month, no contract, with a one-time $99 application fee. Now, when you compare that to competitors, everybody else is going to offer you one service, which is credit restoration, for more money than what I just told you. Oh, and by the way, if you do what Paul and I do, just for referring people to the company, the same way you tell people about a good restaurant, a great radio station like Hey World, or something like that, you tell people about stuff and you get paid nothing. Well, with us, when Paul and I tell people about this, we get paid. So at the end of the day, we have to be clients, so we have to use the service, but we also get paid to refer people. So when you do the math, it's a win-win.
Now we're gonna step out for a second, but one question I want to ask before we do that is, $89 a month for all 12 services. It does not sound like a bad deal. How long does this last, though? I mean, is there a set time in a contract where you have to be a part of this for so many years, or if you want to pull out, you pull out?
Good question. Yeah, you pull out when you get ready, no contract. But what I tell people is, and again, I always go back to mindset. Most people have cable, but they work more than they're at home, but you pay that every month.
Right.
Most people got car insurance. You don't have it because you're anticipating an accident. You have it because you want to be prepared if you do have an accident. So with these services, I tell people all the time, it's better to have and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Right.
But $89 a month, no contract. You can discontinue the services whenever you want. It's that simple.
Hey, that sounds like a great deal, man. Y'all gonna stick with us for a second, man? We're gonna step out.
Yeah,
for a
man.
minute.
I'll be here for a nice little minute. I'll be with y'all till probably about 6 o'clock.
All right, that's cool, man. We're gonna step out for a minute. This is Hey Young Boys. Y'all stick with us. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Ohio Media School.
Jam, man. Work it. Turn the whole thing.
North Coast.
Or doing this, and I get that.
So again, what we talking about, listen, here's the facts. Most people, myself included, are in the credit situation we're in because of what? A lack of discipline.
Amen.
Choices. Everybody got choices. So I would tell anybody that knows they have bad credit and they're working a job that won't pay them to sustain their lifestyle, two things. One, evaluate where you work at. And I know that sounds easier said than done, but you gotta start.
You do. Yeah.
Right? Two, look at what you're already spending money on. I mean, I was told the other day, man, that a new iPhone could cost you about $800 up front.
I just saw a quote for $1,100. Listen, I won't have an iPhone.
So again, man, we spend our money on. Listen, man, I'm a sneakerhead.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm blessed to be to a place where I can afford that. But we spend our money on stuff that don't hold no value, and then we challenge anything that does. So I'll guarantee that young lady saying 99 is a lot, I would be willing to bet $1,000 there is a Gucci purse, a fancy shoe, an expensive trip. There is something that she saw value in. And she's not wrong for that. But we got to start looking at things of value beyond material stuff.
Yeah, we
Period.
do. I mean, that's like back in 2013 when everybody was wearing Michael Kors watches. I went out and I copped when I had the Rose Gold joint. I paid like $300.
Nasty watch too.
This is when they, how you say what?
Very nice watch.
It's okay.
I like them.
It's okay. Now, let me tell you what, like, I thought I was doing something by copping a Rose Gold watch. I thought I was investing in something.
Yeah.
So, I started trying, this is how ignorant I was. I started going to, like, K's, jewelers, and different places trying to get it appraised.
Yeah.
And, like,
That's hilarious.
a lot of people was just like, yeah, this is nice for this. Yeah. They never really said that. So one day I went to a jewelry store, and the man just kept it real. Man, he said, look, let me tell you something, man. He said, if this watch was real, it'd probably be about worth $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, man, this is not rose gold. This is rose gold plated. And I was like, man, I spent $300 thinking I was doing something by investing into something.
Yeah.
Like if you go buy a Rolex, you just investing into that's an investment.
That's an investment. Yeah.
A Michael Kors watch is not an investment.
Right.
You can Foxel makes Michael Kors watches. I found that out too. You can go buy the same Foxel
Just a different name.
for $80. You know what I mean? So the thing is that we also have to educate ourselves on what, like guns and butter.
Period.
From the movie Baby Boy. When I first heard that, like I was like, what's guns and butter? Like, it took me a while to really understand that.
Yeah.
Guns is the stuff that matters.
Yep.
Butter is the stuff that doesn't. And he said it in the movie, but it took time to understand. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's an evolution, man. You know, it goes back to, I was watching Jay-Z interview he did, and he referred to how he got so much backlash from saying, you're on the gram, hold money to your ears, to disconnect, we don't call that money over here. He said he got so much backlash from that he had to go back and listen to his lyrics to see if he told people to not put money to their ear. He said, and after I listened to it, he said, I never told you to not put money on your ear.
Yeah.
We just don't do that over here. He said,
Right.
but what disturbed him so much was with all of the content on his album, that was one of the topics
Right.
that
That they
Lil Boosie
wanted to,
spent an
yeah.
hour going in on. And I say all that to say this, man, I'm not preaching or judging nobody. I'm just saying at some point, we got to start wanting to get up out of whatever situation we in, regardless of how we got there. And most people, if truth be told, they have bad credit because of two things. Either they did it or mom and them did it. And if
Right.
mom and them did it, you still got to fix it. But if you did it, do something about it.
And you know, I think that's mean when you do that to your kids, man. You put stuff in their names because they can't tell you no. You running everything. You got the Social Security. That's a form of rape. You know what I mean? They're raping your identity, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you got parents that did you like that, man, you might, want to evaluate them. But that's not today's topic.
Man, now listen, I got a mentor. I got a mentor right now that gave me some of the coldest game I ever heard. When his son hit 18, his son asked his son what did he want for his birthday, and his son said a car. He said, I got you something better, and he handed him his credit report, and his son had over an 800 FICO. Because what they did was, by the time they could start getting cards in his name, they did, and they just built his credit up.
Yeah, that's
That's
Think
dope.
about that.
But they built him up. They didn't tear him down.
They didn't tear him
You know
down.
what I mean? By
You know,
using his name.
They didn't.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, listen, man, the credit score is not a color.
it's a number, and that's
It's a
important.
number, which means every one of us can have the highest number
Right.
if we're willing to get educated and do the work. That's all our program is about. Our program is about finding coachable people that want to be in a better situation, that understand you have to make an investment into yourself. The $99 shouldn't press you. You spending that on you. She wouldn't be losing by investing that $89. She's making an investment into self. And again, it's why I say it always goes back to mindset, man. You brothers are doing something amazing here. You investing into yourself and giving back to your community by even having a platform and a conversation like this. So I applaud y'all.
Hey man, I definitely appreciate you coming through and giving $1 million worth of game for nothing, man. And your time, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I really appreciate that you're willing to share the knowledge that you have
Yeah.
with people. Like I said earlier, the game is to be sold, not told. So I know there's only but so much you can give away.
Yeah.
Let the people know how they can reach out to you. You got an email address.
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook at Cleveland's Finest, and that's Cleveland with an apostrophe S. You can find me on Instagram at Charm, the number 2Q. And then you can find my business partner again, Paul Miller, at www.myfes.net/Paul Miller to look more into our services and do your due diligence, man. But at the end of the day, it works. I'm living proof, and I've got hundreds of other people that can actually vouch with documentation of what we've done for them.
I believe you, man. I seen your car, and I'm not gonna put it out there what you drive, but I seen it, and that's all that matters. Hey, shout out to Paul Miller. He's also the CEO of Legendary 44. Hey, man, jump on the microphone. Don't try to act shy now, man. Don't try to be shy now. What's good, man?
What's up, man? You
You
doing,
all right?
man? I'm good. I'm blessed. Blessed by the best, bro.
I've been knowing you for how long?
Man, since we was youngins, like first grade.
Yeah.
Grade. You know
We
what
got a
I
lot
mean?
of history together, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad to see you that you're doing this. I think that this is gonna get certain people on it.
Right.
Cause you definitely got an influence over people. You know that. You know what I mean. So I think you gonna do great things with this, man.
Thank you.
I just
Thank you. I
wanted to
hope
get you
so.
on. Huh?
No, I'm just saying I hope so, man.
I just wanted to get you on the microphone, man. 'Cause you know, I hope you guys can come back at some point. And,
Oh, yeah, we will. Just let us know. We'll set up the time and everything. We'll be right back out here. No problem.
Paul Miller, let them know how they can reach you, man.
You can reach me up on Facebook at Paul Miller. You will see me always representing entrepreneurship. You can also reach me on Instagram as well as at Paulys 44 Empire. That is PAULYS 44 Empire, and that's the clothing brand, and a whole bunch of other businesses under that. And Credit Restoration is definitely one of them. So you can definitely reach us that way, man. So, and you can also, hit me up. My number to get a hold of me, my business number is 2.
Wait a minute, wait. You want to do this?
It's all right. It's
Okay,
all right.
all right,
It's
go for
business.
it.
It's
Go
not
for
like
it.
it's
Hey,
a business line. So,
Okay,
any
right.
questions you got, man? 234-207-4902. That is 234-207-4902. And don't be trying to spam my calls. We can find out who you are. So,
Hey, this man right here ain't playing. He gave out the number.
I gave out the
get
number.
at him, man. Get at
we gonna get it. So,
Hey,
we
you
wanna
got
help people.
business hours since you gave me a number. You gotta give them like certain time. Like if they call you at 1 in the morning.
Yeah, don't.
He wants you to hit him with the big red.
red.
That's what he looking for right now. He wants you to be like my office hours off from 9 to 5. That's what he looking for.
Right now.
Nice.
Hey, before we go any further over here, I appreciate Harrison. My man Paul Miller is in the building. It's a pleasure. Y'all can stick around, man. If y'all gotta make moves, I understand. But we're gonna move on. Before we go on, though, I want to apologize to the people that may have been listening because we're not live right now. We got kicked off the air. This will be posted on YouTube at a later date. Unfortunately, we got kicked off the air due to things that we have no control over, meaning we're not live. Also, there may be a glitch in the middle of this when you hear it, and that's my fault. So, I just want to throw that out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We try to keep it as professional as we possibly can in Hey Young World, and we're getting better. You know what I mean?
Every day.
Yo, we was in the building mad early today, Helen.
Yeah, and I'm that was what's up.
Hey, I'm proud of us. My man, I'm proud of us. Right there, my man.
already know.
Hey, but yo, we're going to move on. Harrison, Paul, Miller, they going to stick around with us.
Yo.
But yo, there's a lot of issues that need to be addressed right now. Financial freedom is always a beautiful thing, but when your life, when you don't have life, financial freedom, that was the microphone.
Okay.
If you don't, you touch the mic.
That's why I was playing the trumpet. I don't know.
Nah, when you don't have life, you can't do anything.
True.
So financial freedom means absolutely nothing. And what I'm talking about with that, there was a teenager in Akron, Ohio this past weekend who supposedly killed himself in the backseat of a police cruiser.
Crazy.
Which doesn't make sense to me.
I don't get it. First of all, there's certain steps that you're supposed to go through when you're arresting someone, as we all know.
Yeah, with all this going on and all these cops don't feel safe and I'm just going to shoot somebody or, all this and all that, you would think they'd be frisking people before they put them in the back of a squad car. I mean, just for personal safety, what if you get in the car and he decided to shoot you instead of himself, allegedly? I think there's got to be some...
Foul
This,
play.
yeah,
Some foul play in it. How do you
Trouble
shoot yourself
afoot.
with handcuffs on?
It's question number 2.
My understanding, what they said was the cop was a rookie. I'm not making no excuses.
Rookie or not?
Yeah, no excuses. But they said
What
he
does
was a
that
rookie.
mean?
Like exactly, he was a rookie, so I guess he didn't know.
Don't let him be
To frisk somebody? Listen, I'm no cop. But you are suspected of armed robbery, which means somebody here is armed, and we are either going to find this weapon, or we're gonna have what's gonna be a wild time trying. Because I'm frisking everybody twice. You're not gonna shoot me.
But nobody's answered my question, and I'm not looking for anybody in this room to. This is something to think about. How do you shoot yourself with handcuffs on? Now, I have a theory in my head.
I do too. I've got one
Put
theory.
it out there because I don't want anybody. You never know
try
who's
it.
listening. Right. I don't want nobody to hear my theory, and then the next thing you know, they on the news tomorrow at noon talking about.
But
that's how it happened.
But who cuffs themselves before killing themselves? You know what I mean? So I hear what you're saying. Who's gonna? If I want to take myself out, I'm not gonna cuff myself first. Let's make it more difficult. That doesn't. You know what I mean?
Well,
so because I have a theory on how it could have happened too. There's only one way I see shooting yourself with handcuffs on.
It's nearly impossible.
It is. There's only, like I said, there's only one way.
Unless you were
cuffed in the front. I'm talking about cuffed in the back. There's only one way I can see it happening, and that.
In the back of the head?
Yeah, exactly. In the back of the head. You have to be really dedicated to the task, though.
Hey, I'm curious to know how this investigation goes. We will stay posted, keep you guys posted on this as we get more information about this. Because this is definitely something that needs to be looked at, talked about, all of that. It's very unfortunate that the young man who was 17 years old, Xavier McMullen, who killed himself. What it was is, just so we put the story out there correctly, these three young men, I'm not for sure of the other two young men's names off the top of my head, but Xavier McMullen was the one that supposedly killed himself. They robbed someone out in Kenmore. And, police blew down on them. And, hey, you robbed somebody.
Flee to a house.
And
the police came there.
Yeah, but you robbed somebody, you did the wrong thing. So, consequences could happen, you know what I mean?
True.
With the police pulling up on you. But for that to go from 3 young men being charged with aggravated robbery, I believe, to one supposedly killing himself, went from one extreme to the other. My man Paul Miller said that he believed that it was a rookie. If it was, I wouldn't be surprised. If it was a veteran, I wouldn't be surprised. The thing is that's kind of strange right now is that the chief of police, James Nice, he was asked to resign by the mayor of Akron, Dan Horgan. And I think that
factors in. I think it's all connected in some way. Maybe not directly, but everything has to do with everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. So, supposedly James Nice made some racial remarks about other city officials. Not quite sure who it was. Dan Horgan didn't want to put it out there. I kind of respect him for that. You know what I mean? That cuts down on unnecessary drama, unwanted attention. You know what I mean? I'm kind of respecting Dan Horgan because, the man that we had in office for 100 years was, what was his name? Pasquale. Yeah. I don't know if Pasquale would have taken this stance about with James Nice and this.
Well, luckily we don't have to wonder about it, or we can only wonder about it. We don't have to find out.
Right.
He's gone doing his thing.
He's out of there. Pasquale, man, you can catch him at your local bars downtown.
Yeah, have a drink with him. Ask him some questions.
Home. Anyway, I don't want to get involved in that. You seen him, P. You seen down Pasquale down there. Yeah, I think you did. Hey, let's talk about the Mayweather and the McGregor fight.
Ooh.
Yes,
let's talk about that.
He was there.
Of course you was there, man. Go ahead and get on the mic, Harrison, man. Tell us about how Vegas was during that time, man.
Ain't no business like show business, man.
Man.
Hey, listen, when I tell you, man, they gave a hell of a show in terms of giving people what they was willing to pay for, man. I've been to Vegas a number of times, so the atmosphere was awesome, man. But the fight just proved to me that I'm in the wrong field. Okay. I need to be in the field where I can sell people on the idea of the Great White Hope and I'm fighting.
The Great White Hope.
I like it. Listen, let's get involved. Let's do that. Let's do all of that.
Why don't we do that? Yes. We go find us an old white champ, man, and right now and you think about it, right? Perfect equation for the times we living in. A black champ
versus the white, yeah.
Well, yeah, a lot of people feel like that fight was racially charged outside of the boxing ring. They feel like it was race related. You've heard about that?
Yeah,
right?
well, I feel like it had to be. I mean, it didn't have to be, but how you gonna sell more tickets? Somebody in the office was like, "How are we gonna sell even more tickets, fellas?" And he was like, one of them's black and the other one's white. Really? Let's play that card then. Sweet. And here it is, another $100 million for everybody. Yay!
Rocky Balboa, man. Rocky.
Yes, it's just like the Great White Hype, the movie. This fight went exactly along those lines.
Yeah, it did.
I waited for somebody to come punch Mayweather at the end, just because that's how the movie ended.
Yeah.
It didn't, but Great White Hype is exactly this, and it was brilliant in the movie, and it was brilliant a couple days ago because everybody got paid.
Hey, and that's the beautiful thing. You said everybody got paid. Yes, they did. I just want to know where the people were at that really felt like McGregor was going to beat Floyd Mayweather. Did you really think McGregor was going to beat Floyd Mayweather?
No.
Come on.
Whoever thought that is ridiculous.
There's people that really thought that. Hey, I know a guy that told me McGregor was going to win because he was Irish and McGregor was Irish. I'm thinking to myself, what does that have to do with anything?
You don't get it. You're not seeing a big Irish picture.
Well, that big Irish picture about got his head knocked off on Saturday.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it was. I enjoyed the fight. I liked watching it, but I knew going in that the guy it was his first ever professional boxing match for $100 million, which is the best starting day ever. Yeah. I knew he was going to lose because it was a boxing match and he's not a boxer. So odds are, had to win another round, he would have been asleep. He would have been unconscious.
They'd have carried him out of that ring. Like, you
right.
know what I mean? And the thing is what I like about that fight, Mayweather used one of the old school rules in any fight. Just let your opponent get tired. Mm-hmm. When he gets tired and you see that he's losing that stamina,
pick him apart.
Go ahead and go for the kill.
Yeah.
That's how I was taught that at a very young age, and I believe it works.
Yeah, he was a much bigger fighter, man. Even when you saw, seeing them standing next to each other, McGregor looked like a giant, man.
Yeah, he was huge.
I mean, he made Floyd look tiny.
Man. Yeah.
But, after a while, man, them punches start adding up, man.
And, fighting is mental.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell it was getting the best of McGregor that he couldn't resort to that UFC style of fighting. I think a couple times McGregor wanted to kick Mayweather. I started saying, then he started doing the hammer on his head.
Yeah, he was reverting back to the UFC ways.
Yeah, he was getting frustrated. Shout out to Dana White, the person over UFC. Doesn't want Mayweather to ever fight again. He's over the MMA, UFC whole thing. He doesn't want him to get into that style of fighting anymore.
I don't want him to either. No, don't do that.
Well,
that'd be crazy.
Rumor has it, and we don't do rumors on Hey Young World, but rumors has it Floyd Mayweather will be fighting in a UFC fight.
Listen, do you know how much money that would make?
That's a lie.
Murder.
That's a lie. What you say? What's going on?
How much money that would make, though?
You think he could fight like that?
No, I don't. Oh no, it's gonna be over, and it's gonna be over quick. He can't just punch, and you can't just weave punches, because now I'm gonna kick you, or I'm gonna grab you. It's grappling involved. It's a whole different style of everything. You're not ready for that.
And he better not get in the ring with McGregor or something like that. McGregor
he gonna try to break something.
Kind of crazy stuff to him.
You can't tap out fast enough.
James Brown, the big payback, is gonna be playing in the background.
That's terrible.
Hey man, Joe Olsen do not want people inside of his church. You're messing up the church business like that. If you have to come sleep in the church because you lost your home due to the Houston flood.
Yeah.
Hurricane Harvey. Get on the microphone, man. How do you feel about that, man? I want to know how you feel about it. I asked the question.
My bad, boss, man.
Go ahead.
All right. I don't know, man. Like it's a double standard with me, because it's like, man, we don't really know his whole mindset as to why he didn't want to open up the church.
Okay, let me stop you right there. I'm gonna let you keep going, but I'm gonna interfere because he said that he didn't want to open the church until all the shelters in the area were full. So basically, what he was saying, y'all can use my church, but make that be the last resort here.
Okay,
that's what he said. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, all right. Well, I you just informed me on that.
Yeah, that's what it said.
But then, what about the stadiums? You know what I'm saying? Is the stadium flooded? down there in Houston, Texas.
Well, I know that you're talking about Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys.
No. That's
Houston.
Dallas. I'm talking about
Houston.
Texas.
The Texans,
Houston,
wherever
yeah,
they play at,
Houston,
they have
yeah,
rodeos.
yeah.
Well,
Houston, or what?
The issue with stadiums was they didn't want to use stadiums in big places like that, that huge, because during Katrina there was a lot of, you can't monitor a stadium full of people. You can't help everyone in there, and there was a lot of violence allegedly, and this and that was happening under the radar because it's such a big place. You can't keep tabs on everything, and a lot of people got hurt. So they were like, we don't want to use anything that big because it's too much land to cover for the amount of people we have. We need to still be out here in the streets helping people, yada yada yada.
Now the church is pretty.
It's pretty. It's not as big as that. Quite as big as that. But yeah, the Rockets used to play there. It is a. I've been to the church. It is pretty big.
So you've been to the church? Did you go to the cafe and the gift shop while you were there?
No.
You didn't go to
I came. I went to the service, and I left.
So why you didn't go to the cafe and get you a cup of coffee?
I was with family, I ain't got time to sightsee at the church. Joel was busy.
Hey man, this dude got a gift shop inside the church, man. Like,
You want to buy his Bibles and all that.
Hey man, nothing in the store is under $7. He's got
hilarious.
DVDs and CDs in there for hundreds of dollars.
I wonder if that's a scam.
Hey, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? Let's talk about that.
Maybe.
Hey, look, man, I used to watch him faithfully. One day I woke up and I was like, I'm not watching Joel Osteen anymore. My mom had bought me a book by this man, and I just could not read it. I don't know, man. Something just hit me one day like, yo, you need to quit watching this.
Listen, I didn't know who he was until Oprah said it. And then, like I said, I went to a service at the church. And I still didn't follow him particularly. My thing is this, as far as this whole not opening the doors for the flood or for the hurricane victims and this and that. People who are defending him and people who are attacking him need to stop. There's a much bigger issue here. Now, in my personal opinion, I don't want to judge what he did because I haven't spoken with him, but around the same time, there were guys with monster trucks saying, I'm on my way to Texas. And he was like, no, you can't come in the church, though. Don't do that. I feel like he going to have to answer to whoever his God is. If his God is the money,
Joel?
Yeah, Joel's going to have to answer to whoever his God. If his God is the money, then it's going to come out of that money. It's going to come back to him in a worse way. Karma, basically. And if he's saying, I believe in God, I'm a Christian, and when I get to heaven, I'm sure they're going to flag him at the gate, like, come here, we need to talk. And I'm sure they're going to flag me at the gate for some things I done did, but, I'm sure they're going to, if he really was like, nah, y'all can't come in here, I'm sure they're going to be like, oh, no, pull his name at the gate. Come over here. We got to talk. Step aside for a second. So, don't worry about it here. Worry about those people out there who need help, and let's try to forget about arguing about whether he was right or wrong and do the right thing and help people during this national disaster.
Looking at it, man. That's very optimistic, I guess. But this guy, man, he's lying, man. And the reason why I say he's lying because one minute he said the church wasn't flooded, the next minute he said the church was flooded. I don't know what to believe. All I know is that Joel Osteen supposedly did not want people in his church. And he opened the doors after people went in on him on social media. And now the people were there. And I seen him on Good Morning America today. And he looked very frustrated that this was happening. But he knows he had to do this because he's a pastor and he's right in the middle of this, where his church is located at.
Right. He should have been the first person with the doors open, in my opinion. You're supposed to be of the people.
So you know what that
no
means,
shepherd abandons their flock.
All of those people being in there like that, that means the church might not be open this Sunday.
Well, he better have church with them people in there.
Yeah.
Listen, I've seen videos from down there. Listen, I've seen videos. That's hilarious. I've seen videos of people in Houston right now, and they are staying together. They are embracing the life that they've been given, the opportunity to survive another day. You better have church in there.
That only lasts for a year.
Now, all this money the government got, you would think in that area they would have some kind of shelter that.
Well,
plenty of money. Just build a major shelter in places like that get hit, so you don't got to rely on nobody. The government, listen, man, I went to Costa Rica this summer, and when I was there, you know what was amazing? They go to school for free. Health care is for free. In other words, the government take care of their people.
you're supposed to.
Well, we need to be the same. It should
We
be
do.
the same.
I think we in America we focus too much on money rather than education or health or anything else. And because like America's like number 14 in education, and that's low.
That's bad.
That's terrible. I feel like we got the resources and the knowledge. We should be number one, top two at least.
Anybody else in the world.
Right. So you would think we would perpetuate that instead of just get money, but we don't. We do not. So there's a disconnect. Like Jay-Z said, it's different.
Yeah.
It's totally
shout
different.
out to Trey the Truth. He was out there in the middle of the hurricane.
In a boat,
in the middle
just
of
getting
the
it.
flood, yeah, helping people.
That's what's up. And we
That's
need more
what we
people to
need.
be doing that.
Yeah, that's what we need, man. We don't need no more Joel Osteen's fake pump faking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What his intentions.
Right.
Hey, but so much for Joel Osteen. Life much goes on. Our prayers goes out to the people that are down there.
Right. Speaking of which, let me say this. There's a national disaster. This is the worst storm, worst hurricane in years going on in Florida, Texas, Houston especially. There are a lot of people down there who need help. A lot of people down there are still stuck. A lot of people down there who are receiving help. We need to do as much as we can to help each other. It's not black, it's not white, it's not any color. It's people, humans. We need to all be helping each other right now and all the time, but right now especially. Here's the thing. My little sister is down there, and she's a nurse, and she got out of her house today. Let me say that. Shout out to Sophia. She got out of her house today, but during this whole thing, I've been talking to her, and don't tell her I said this, but she is a much better person than me, and that's why I say all this, because she was upset during the hurricane. She was alone in her house, couldn't get out, stranded, flooded in, but her being upset was because she couldn't get out and help people. And she a better person than me. Like I said, she a better person than me because I don't know if that's where my mind would have been at. If I see you and I can help you, yes, I will. That's my heart. That's how I operate. But she was stuck in her house, safe in her house, and all she was worried about was getting back out there to help others. And more people need to be like that. Like I said, she got out this morning and she went right back to work. So shout out to her. That's the thing. Help each other, y'all.
Shout out to her, man. And she made it through that, so that's
Right.
a beautiful thing, man. Like, what was going through? She didn't feel like she needed to come home for a couple days.
No. No, like I said, she was like,
options,
I
man.
need an airlift out of here so I can get to work, so I can save somebody's life, so I can do what I can to help somebody else. And I'm like, are you serious right now? You need an airlift out here so you can come home for I can feel good about it. But that's the wrong line of thinking. Shout out to Sophia.
Yeah, shout out to her, definitely.
Can I also give a shout out?
You get a time to get a shot. Maybe give a shout out.
You know what I'm saying? Just real quick. No,
Hold on, wait a minute. Everybody that comes here, like, there's always that one person that, hey, man, when is it my turn to give a shout out? I got some people that I told I was going to shout them out.
No, nothing to do with that.
Hold
It's
on,
actually to do with the story.
we gonna get to that. It got something to do with the what?
Story. It got something
I'm
to do
sorry,
with
I
the
apologize.
Let me finish.
Let's just let give a shout out. I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop talking.
So I got to give a shout out to one of my fraternity brothers, Joshua Waters. He was actually he was down there and he was visiting his mom. He's from Ohio. The hurricane hit. It was his mother's birthday, and once the hurricane hit, he was stuck. He got stuck down there. So he went out to grab a beer at one of the only spots that was near him, and it was the owner in the kitchen who was working alone. Josh took it upon himself to help the owner and started cooking meals for the patrons in the overpacked restaurant. So if this story doesn't exemplify kindness, community, and selflessness, then I don't know what does. And there's actually a video on my page. You can check it out on Paul Miller, where he's actually there helping. He just went to grab a beer, and he seen that he was by himself. Josh used to work in the restaurant before, and he just took the initiative to start helping the owner down there doing it, man. So
That's what's up.
Hey, Hey, that's word, man. That's word. I don't know why I started laughing, man. I'm not laughing at you, man. Shout out to him, man. I'm gonna request him on Facebook, man.
Okay.
What's his name? Joshua.
Joshua Waters.
Joshua. I think I know him, man.
I don't know, you might.
I might know that cat, man. I think I know who you're talking about. But shout out to him, man, for doing such a great thing, man. Like, this is the part of the show what we do. It's called the wrap up, where we shout out people.
Oh, okay.
So you
Well, y'all definitely knew each other forever because this conversation is hilarious right now.
yeah, man. I used to eat school lunches with this guy, man. This guy would get upset when I wouldn't give him certain things off of my tray.
Right.
This guy was funny, man. We had some time. Hey, the wrap up, man. You know, this is the time when we go around the room and we let everybody say what they need to say before we go here and get up out of here. How you feeling? What you want to see happen? You know, whatever. What's on your mind? We're going to start with my man Harrison. The guest is always first.
Oh, man, I appreciate it. First, I want to shout you guys out, man.
Thank you.
For utilizing your platform to bring social issues that affect the community, not just the black community, but, you know, the human race all together, man. So shout out to you guys. And then I just want to shout out, man, my family, man, the city of Cleveland, man. Born here, raised here, love the city, state of Ohio, man. We the best kept secret in the world. We the heart of it all.
Right.
And in addition to that, man, just everybody out there that's trying to figure it out. You know, at the end of the day, man, as long as you seek information, you will find what you're looking for. Don't ever stop being a seeker. Don't ever stop being a seeker of knowledge, man. And you can obviously get ahead, and then don't forget to reach back and empower other people in spite of what kind of opposition you might run into. Peace and love.
Word, man. We're kind of running short on time, but let the people know once again how they can get at you if they want to reach out and, you know.
You can reach me on Facebook at Cleveland's Finest, and that's Cleveland with an apostrophe S. On Instagram at Charm, the number 2, QUE. And you can go to my website at fesconnect.net/HGILMER.
Word. Well said. Paul Miller, man, go ahead and jump in there. I know you got something you want to say. You got some more shout-outs, man?
You silly, man.
Shout
Nah,
out,
man, I just want to, much love to everybody. Shout out to everybody doing great things in the world, man, giving back. Don't give up on life. Keep going, keep pushing forward. Be legendary 44, man, and all praise to the Most High, man. Thanks for. I want to thank you all for allowing me to be on the show and just see how you living, man. Hey, young world, man, doing big things. Shout out to y'all, man. This is a beautiful thing, man. So love,
That's what's up.
man.
Yeah, word. Yo, let the people know how they can reach out to you so they can get at you.
Okay, so yeah, once again, Facebook, Paul Miller, Instagram, Paulie's44 Empire. You can reach me as well as far as the business, getting your credit restored, www.myfes.net//Paul Miller, man. So get that credit fixed. Stop playing games, man. Get the credit fixed. You know you need the credit. Stop playing games, man. It's simple. Just follow the process.
Do it.
What? Hell of man, what it is.
You already know what I'm going to say. Shout out to everybody and everything. Johnny Hellum Jr. on the Facebook, Rose Scholar 19, everywhere else on across social media. And if there's one thing I can say, is I do my own stunts.
Word. You gonna leave on them like that?
That's it. I do my own stunts.
Man, word, man. I respect that, man. It's Jackie, the black Jackie Chan in here, man. He do his own stuff. My man. Hey. We're going to do something called album review suggestions. This is just us suggesting you listen to some of the music that we listen to because we cool. You know, we just cool. You know what I mean? We cool enough to suggest.
And you want to be cool too, so do it.
Yeah, man. You know, everything that's on the radio, you know, everything that you listen to don't necessarily have to be on the radio. All right? No disrespect to the traditional radio, whatever. The albums that I want to suggest is Action Bronson, 7,000 Chips.
Blue Chip 7,000?
Yeah. Blue Chip 7,000. Thank you for the correction, Heather.
You're
Blue
right.
Chip 7,000, Sound Price, Imperious Wet.
I like that one too, yeah.
That's a dope album. And then I want to know how y'all feel about that Wu-Tang People Say. I want to know who y'all feel like has the best verse on there. I will not reveal who I feel like has the best verse on that song right now. We'll get into that next Wednesday. Because tell them you won't be with us on Friday.
Right.
We got a great show on Friday. It'll be very interesting. I'm mad, my man.
Here I am missing it.
There's a possibility that we will be doing something with something called Red Line Radio. As that happens, we'll keep y'all informed so y'all can keep rocking with us. Also, Dope Art Thursdays will be popping tomorrow on Jimmy Smooth's Facebook page. That is Jimmy Smooth. You know, with the way I pronounce things, the way I do my thing, a lot of people think I'm saying smooth, Smoove. So, with me knowing how to spell, I just go ahead and spell it out for you.
Right.
Now, you
That
know.
was nice.
You got anything you want to say? Any comments? Any suggestions? Any, you know, how you feel? Reach out to us at
Media.
heyyoungworld@gmail.com.
Yep.
So with that being said, we got to start checking that. When's the last time
True.
we checked that?
I'm not gonna answer that on air.
Okay, well we'll check it. We'll check it.
Most Def is back. Look out for that.
Huh?
Most Def is back.
Hey.
Yeah, Yasin Bey is back.
Yeah,
Listen,
we're gonna definitely get into that next week. I'm gonna save that for, you know what I mean.
All right, that's what's up. I just wanted to say that because you was talking about records. Most Def is back. I'm excited. I'm sorry.
Any new music?
Not that I've heard, but I just found out they got back, and I'm listening.
All right.
Dave East. Y'all don't know who Dave East is.
Dave East is
Dave
okay.
East.
Hey, you gotta come back and we can do a whole different segment on
I would love
something totally. Cause I got an opinion on Dave East, but we don't have enough time for me to share that opinion. But yo, this is Hey Young World. I appreciate y'all, you know, rocking with us, listening to, you know, this good game. My man Harrison, my man Paul Miller drop. We'll see y'all. I see y'all Friday. I'll be back in the building with my man Helen on Wednesday.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.